Ladies and gentlemen, gather close because tonight we're stepping into a truth so raw, so piercing, it will shift the way you see yourself, your victories, and the world around you. Picture this. You're running a race, legs burning, heart pounding, sweat dripping, and you cross that finish line first. The crowd is there, watching, staring, but there's no roar, no applause, no hands clapping. You're standing tall, victorious, but the stands are silent. Why? Why are you winning, but they're not clapping? Hold that question in your spirit because we're about to unravel a mystery that will set you free. Let me take you somewhere for a moment. Imagine a seed, small, unassuming, buried deep in the dirt. It's dark down there, lonely, no light, no sound, just pressure from every side. That seed doesn't complain, doesn't quit. It pushes, it stretches, it breaks through the soil, reaching for sunlight it can't even see yet. Day after day, it grows roots, digging deeper, stem climbing higher. It becomes a tree, strong, towering, bearing fruit. But here's the thing. Nobody claps for the seed. Nobody cheers for the tree. The world passes by, taking shade, picking fruit, but they don't stop to applaud the process. Why? Because the world doesn't celebrate what it doesn't understand. You see, my friends, winning isn't just about the moment you hold the trophy. Winning is the grind, the unseen, the midnight hours when you're wrestling with doubt, battling fear, and pushing through pain. Winning is the discipline to keep going when every voice in your head screams, stop. But the world only sees the finish line. They only see the shine. They don't see the sweat, the tears, the sacrifices. And because they don't see it, they don't clap for it. But does that mean you're not winning? Oh no, it means you're winning at a level they can't comprehend. Let's pause for a second. Look around you. Look at the person next to you. They're smiling, nodding, but deep down, they're carrying a story. A story of dreams they've chased, goals they've crushed, victories they've claimed. But how many times have they stood in their moment of triumph, waiting for the world to notice, waiting for the applause, and heard nothing but silence? Maybe that's you. Maybe you've built something extraordinary, a business, a family, a legacy, and yet the people you thought would celebrate you are quiet. The friends you expected to cheer are distant. The family you hoped would understand is distracted. Why? Why does it feel like you're climbing mountains but nobody's watching? Here's the first truth I want to plant in your soul tonight. Your victory doesn't need validation. Say that with me in your heart. My victory doesn't need validation. You were not created to perform for the applause of others. You were designed to fulfill a purpose so unique, so specific, that only you can carry it. The moment you start chasing the claps, you lose sight of the calling. The moment you measure your success by their cheers, you give them power over your destiny. But you, my friend, are not here to beg for recognition. You're here to dominate your assignment. Let me tell you something else. The silence you're hearing, it's not rejection. It's not failure. It's a signal. That silence is telling you that you're operating at a frequency the world isn't tuned into yet. Think about it. Every great inventor, every pioneer, every trailblazer in history faced the same silence. They saw what others couldn't see. They built what others couldn't build. They believed what others couldn't believe. And the world didn't clap. Not at first. The world mocked, doubted, ignored. But those visionaries kept going because they understood something profound. The crowd doesn't crown the winner. The purpose does. Let's go deeper. Why do we crave the applause? Why do we look for the claps? Be honest with yourself. There's something in us that wants to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be celebrated. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's human. But here's where we miss it. We start looking to the wrong audience. We start performing for people who don't even know the script. We start seeking approval from those who don't understand the stage we're on. You're out here playing a symphony and they're listening for a pop song. You're painting a masterpiece and they're looking for a cartoon. No wonder they're not clapping. They don't even know what they're witnessing. Let me paint a picture for you. There's a young woman, let's call her Sarah. Sarah grows up in a small town, big dreams in her heart. She wants to start a business, something nobody in her family has ever done. She's got no connections, no money, no blueprint. But she's got a fire inside her, a vision that won't let her sleep. So she starts. She saves every penny, studies every book, works late into the night. Years pass. Her business grows. She's employing people, changing lives, making an impact. But back in her town, nobody's clapping. Her friends are quiet. Her family says, "Why don't you just get a regular job?" The people she grew up with scroll past her success on their phones, saying nothing. Does that mean Sarah's not winning? No. It means Sarah's winning at a level they can't fathom. Now let's flip the script. There's a young man, let's call him David. David's got a gift for teaching. He's not in a classroom, not in a school, but he's teaching people online, sharing knowledge, changing minds. He's pouring his heart into every video, every post, every word. Thousands are watching, learning, growing because of him. But his inbox, empty. His comments, sparse. His family, they don't even watch his videos. They say, when are you going to get serious? Does that mean David's not winning? No, it means David's planting seeds in soil that hasn't bloomed yet. Here's the suspense I promised you. What if the silence isn't your enemy? What if the silence is your ally? What if the lack of applause is the very thing protecting your purpose? Stay with me. When you're winning and nobody's clapping, it's because your victory is still in the incubator. It's still growing, still forming, still becoming. The silence is your shield, keeping the wrong eyes, the wrong voices, the wrong hands from touching what's not ready yet. The silence is your space to refine, to perfect, to prepare. Because when the world finally sees you, when the claps finally come, you better be ready to carry the weight of that spotlight. Let's talk about timing for a moment. The world has a clock, but your purpose has a calendar. The world wants instant results, instant fame, instant applause. But your purpose moves at its own pace. It's not in a rush. It's not competing with anyone else's timeline. You might look around and see others getting claps for half the work you're doing. You might see people celebrated for less than what you've built. And it stings. I know it does. But let me tell you something. Their claps are temporary. Their stage is small. You're building something eternal, something unshakable, something that will outlast the noise. Let me ask you a question. Who are you winning for? Really think about that. Are you winning for the crowd, for the likes, for the followers? Or are you winning for the vision that burns in your soul? Are you winning for the legacy you're leaving, the lives you're touching, the purpose you're fulfilling? Because if you're winning for the crowd, you'll always be disappointed. The crowd is fickle. The crowd cheers today and boos tomorrow. But if you're winning for your purpose, the silence won't shake you. The silence will strengthen you. Now let's get practical. What do you do when you're winning, but they're not clapping? First, you keep your eyes on the vision. Write it down, speak it out, remind yourself why you started. That vision is your compass. It's your North Star. When the world is silent, your vision will shout. Second, you surround yourself with the right voices. Not the loudest voices, not the most popular voices, but the right voices. Find people who see your potential, who understand your purpose, who will speak life into your dreams. They don't have to be many. One true supporter is worth more than 1,000 clappers. Third, you celebrate yourself. Yes, you heard me. Celebrate yourself. Don't wait for the world to throw you a party. Throw your own. Honor your progress, your growth, your victories, big and small. You don't need their permission to know you're winning. Let me tell you a story. There's a man who loved to paint. He wasn't famous, wasn't rich, just a man with a brush and a dream. He painted every day, pouring his soul onto the canvas. His neighbors didn't get it. His friends didn't care. His paintings stacked up in his small apartment, unseen, unsold. But he kept painting. Why? Because he wasn't painting for the claps. He was painting for the art. Years later, long after he was gone, the world discovered his work. Museums hung his paintings. People paid millions for them. The world clapped, but he never heard it. And you know what? He didn't need to. His victory was in every stroke of his brush. Here's where the suspense builds again. What if the claps you're waiting for are coming, but they're not here yet? What if the recognition, the celebration, the applause is on its way, but it's waiting for you to grow into it? What if the silence is preparing you for a stage so big, a platform so wide, a legacy so deep, that when the claps come, they'll never stop? My friends, you're not just winning, you're building. You're not just succeeding, you're becoming. And the world will catch up. But you don't wait for the world. You keep moving, keep growing, keep winning. Let me take you to another scene. Imagine a chef crafting a dish so exquisite, so unique. It's unlike anything the world has tasted. She spends hours, days perfecting the recipe, balancing flavors, testing textures. She serves it to her guests and they eat, they enjoy, but they don't clap. They don't stand up and cheer. They just eat and leave. Does that mean her dish wasn't a masterpiece? No, it means her dish was so profound they didn't know how to respond. Sometimes your victory is so big, so bold, so beyond that the world needs time to process it. And that's okay. You don't cook for the claps. You cook for the craft. Let's talk about the power of persistence. When you're winning and they're not clapping, persistence is your weapon. Persistence says, I don't need your applause to keep going. Persistence says, my purpose is bigger than your silence. Persistence says, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impact you. Every step you take, every goal you crush, every dream you chase is a declaration of your persistence. And let me tell you something. The world may not clap today, but persistence will make them notice tomorrow. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Sometimes the silence isn't just silence. Sometimes it's envy. Sometimes it's discomfort. Sometimes the people who should be clapping are quiet because your victory challenges their complacency. Your success shines a light on their stagnation. Your progress reminds them of what they haven't done. And that's not your fault. That's not your burden. You don't dim your light to make them comfortable. You don't slow your pace to make them feel better. You keep shining, keep running, keep winning. Because your victory isn't just for you. It's for every person who sees you and dares to dream bigger. Let me share another truth with you. The silence teaches you who you are. When nobody's clapping, you learn to clap for yourself. When nobody's cheering, you learn to cheer for yourself. When nobody's believing, you learn to believe in yourself. The silence strips away the noise, the distractions, the expectations, and leaves you with the raw, unfiltered truth of your purpose. And in that silence, you find your strength. In that silence, you find your voice. In that silence, you find your victory. Let's talk about legacy for a moment. You're not just winning for today, you're winning for tomorrow. You're winning for the generations that will come after you. You're winning for the people who will look at your life and say, if they did it, I can too. Every step you take, every obstacle you overcome, every victory you claim is a brick in the foundation of your legacy. And legacies don't need applause. Legacies need action. Legacies need courage. Legacies need you to keep going, even when the stands are empty. Here's a question to hold on to. What if the claps you're waiting for are already inside you? What if the validation you're seeking is already in your heart? What if the celebration you're craving is already in your spirit? You don't need the world to tell you you're winning. You know it. You feel it. You live it. Every morning you wake up and choose to chase your purpose, you're winning. Every night you go to bed knowing you gave your all, you're winning. Every moment you refuse to quit, you're winning. And that, my friends, is a victory no silence can steal. Let me take you to one final scene. Imagine a dancer, alone on a stage, no audience, no spotlight, just her and the music. She moves, she spins, she leaps, pouring her soul into every step. Nobody's watching, nobody's clapping, but she dances. Why? Because the dance is her victory. The dance is her purpose. The dance is her joy. And when she finishes, breathless, alive, she doesn't need the applause. She's already won. You, my friend, are that dancer. Your life is the stage. Your purpose is the music. And every step you take, every move you make is your victory. So what do you do when you're winning, but they're not clapping? You keep dancing. You keep building. You keep dreaming. You keep winning. Because the truth is, the claps will come. The recognition will come. The celebration will come. But you don't need it to know who you are. You don't need it to know what you're worth. You don't need it to know you're winning. You are enough. Your purpose is enough. Your victory is enough. And as I leave you tonight, I want you to hold this close. The silence is not your defeat. The silence is your preparation. The silence is your power. You're winning not because they're clapping, but because you're living the life you were created to live. So stand tall, my friends. Keep running, keep growing, keep shining. The world may not clap today, but your purpose is clapping. Your future is clapping. Your legacy is clapping. And that's all the applause you'll ever need.